Hello, my name is Tawan McMillan. I'm the owner of Tawan Fitzgerald McMillan LLC. Live, love, learn, grow. I like to break down my plan into phases and explain to you my dreams, my goals, and aspirations. I believe we all have a purpose here on this planet. The first thing that I'd like to do for my company is I'd like to build an elementary school to help build up the conversation leaders and the thought provokers of the future. This elementary school will prepare young people to plan and implement procedures and policies for our company to continue and to flourish in the future. Next, we will build a middle school. The students that attend the elementary school will attend the middle school. The difference in this school structure is that it's not a general knowledge type of curriculum or a regular curriculum. This curriculum will help guide students and help them figure out and where they want to be led and what do they want to do with their lives, whether that's working with math, working with English, building things, being a creator, being an artist. For my school, every child starts off with basic knowledge like data entry. So instead of starting, we'll start out with teaching a child to type and how to open up software on a computer. But in elementary school, that's a little bit different. For elementary school, what we want to do is we want to expose them to all the different types of career paths and let them choose. We'll pay close attention to the kids. Like, do they navigate towards colors, shapes, what toys do they navigate towards, and then we'll guide them in whichever area that they go on. If they choose to move into a different area, then we'll also help them with that also. And we'll also back that up with different field trips to expose them to what a day in the life or what that type of lifestyle is like. So kids can know what type of thing what they're getting themselves into. Because for me personally, some things I never knew about until I got to college. So after they graduate from elementary school, they'll go to middle school and then they'll go to high school. Now, in elementary school, up in about fourth and fifth grade, that's when they start really learning how to type. And once we get into middle school, we'll get into typing about their particular trade. Now, say that you gravitated toward numbers in elementary school. That can be an array of different things like accounting, finance, analytics. So we'll have them start typing about general knowledge things. Okay. And once they get into higher education, like our university, then the more education they have, the more pay they will receive, and also the more complex their trade will get. So once they're in middle school is normally sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. And so it gives an opportunity to become more specific and learning more technical skills about that trade, learning how to use a software that generates towards that, and they'll graduate, and those students will also continue to high school. In high school, the students will actually be inside of a actual position in that field and in that trade. So the high school is completely different. The students are actually working in a high school and working in an entry level position in their trade. So like they would be an entry level for an accountant would probably be like a cashier. So they would move up, and maybe once they move to the university, they would get something more specific like a more complex data entry position for accounting until they reach their PhD and become maybe like a accounting supervisor, manager, or even an accounting project manager. So that's tier 1. So as we keep moving forward and growing the company and we keep recruiting students, we'll move on to tier 2. Now, in tier 2, we have a couple different phases. Tier 2 is kind of complex. So we have a media sector, which these sectors the are the places that the students will be working. Unlike a conventional school who is separate from the job entity, of course, a school is still a business and it can maybe offer some employment to some students to work at the university after graduation. But with our school, we actually offer jobs to these students that are only for our students, because these students have been trained since elementary school to create policies and procedures for our company specifically. So we have a media sector which revolves around all things like marketing and publishing, books, magazines, online content, videos, labels, all of that kind of stuff, printmaking. And that can be a entry level position for the media sector, would maybe be, like for a high school entry level position, that could be some type of data entry for the company. That could be some type of maybe some type of what for wait. It depends what their trade is, because it depends what their trade is, because anybody can come to this specific sector, but depending on what job they do will depend on what trade they have. So it's not as much about their education, has to do with their trade, and then the sector has to do with the specific part of the company and what it puts out for the company, what department. So the next sector we have, or department, would be the next sector would be telecommunications, which revolves around our towers, and there's all type of jobs for that. There's this is a corporate industry, with it involves with electrical stuff, technology, analytics. It's an array of different things for telecommunications, phone towers, internet towers. um Then our next sector would be our medical sector, with our hospitals and new medicines that we are creating and perfecting. Then our next sector would be transportation, our bus systems, our train systems, automobiles. that we actually manufacture and sell. Our next sector is our agricultural sector. Agriculture is the backbone of almost everything. Everything requires food, you know, and especially with the school, we want to be able to provide our students with nutritional meals, and we also want to offer nutritional meals to the community and to our employees. So there's going to be a lot of great things that come from the agricultural sector. Now, also next we'll have our apparel sector with lots of great fashions for everyone. You know, that goes from all the way from the production and planning of a custom line or the large manufacturing of a certain product, shipping them to certain places. So it's a lot that goes into this, and there's going to be a lot of job opportunities for the youth that participated in our university. Then the next is the technology sector. You know, technology is a tool that helps us to be able to do things in life technology makes life a lot easier. Next is our business services sector, offering global solutions, okay? So we're helping all of the businesses that may even offer staffing, that may offer like the back end of it, the planning and procedures. The next part is our materials sector. That's where we create all of our steel and all the nuts and bolts, and producing the materials we need to build these great buildings and put together computer parts. Next is our industrial sector, where we actually create those specific parts, and we break down the steel and the metal and use it to create the parts that we need. The next is the residential sector. That's homes, apartments, different facilities for the community, and also student housing. Then we have our energy sector. Here at TFM, we want to focus on green energy and using renewable energy that will not harm the planet, unlike fossil fuels. We want to focus on more on solar energy and wind energy. So that's going to be a lot of great opportunities. The next we have our construction sector, where they'll be no, I'm sorry, where they'll be building these big structures and facilities. And then we have our engineering sector, well, where everything kind of comes together with engineering, whether it be engineering the land and developing the land, bridges. There's all types of engineers. So now we're moving out of sector two and we're moving to sector three. Our steel production company. So these are all the actual companies. Tier three is still in development. Now we're into tier four, where it's also still in development, but these are some of the services that we offer, such as a cruise line for enjoyment. And there are a lot of hospitality roles that play into this and customer service. And so the sky's really the limit with TFM. It's just up to you how far you want to take it. Now, in tier five, we focus on the theme parks. The theme parks that are based all around the world, we have we have 3 parks on each continent. The parks revolve around the elements. You have fire, water, and air. And so this is an opportunity to work in maybe hospitality, um, maybe some international work, lots of different types of construction and maintenance. Of course, there's going to be food. So the agriculture sector, what area, what is your trade? Where do you want to get more specific in? And are you willing to go to school here at the university to move up into higher positions in that trade? So that's my dream, and that's what we're working towards here at TFM. Thanks so much for tuning in.